Let's be real for a second. The Game of Thrones finale wasn't just bad TV, it was a personal attack. It was the cinematic equivalent of eating a 5-star meal and finding a dead rat at the bottom of the dessert. We all swore we were done. We burned the merch, we canceled the HBO subscriptions. Okay, we thought about canceling them, but we didn't, because we are addicts. And now, HBO is dragging us back to Westeros with a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, and I'm about to say something that might get me fed to a dragon. This show isn't just a prequel, it's an apology. It is the narrative mouthwash we need to finally scrub the taste of Bran the Broken out of our souls. Here's why a 7-foot-tall himbo from Flea Bottom and a sassy bald child are about to save this entire franchise. Do you remember what the stakes were in the main show? It was the long night. It was the end of humanity. It was ice zombies versus fire nukes. And you know what the problem with saving the world is? It gets boring. If everyone dies, there's no show. We knew Arya wasn't going to get eaten by a polar bear in Season 3. Duncan Egg fixes this by lowering the bar so much it's basically on the floor. Ser Duncan the Tall doesn't want the Iron Throne. He doesn't want to break the wheel. My man just wants a hot bowl of stew and to not get kicked by a horse. That's it. That is his entire motivation. And somehow, it's infinitely more stressful. When Dunk enters a tourney, he's not fighting for the realm. He's fighting for rent money. If he loses, he doesn't die in a blaze of glory. He loses his horse and has to walk home like a loser. That is relatable content. That is the struggle. We are replacing winter is coming with inflation is coming, and honestly, I'm here for it. Look, I love Jon Snow. He's great. He's moody. He's got great hair. He knows nothing. But by the end, he was basically a cardboard cutout that only had 2 lines of dialogue. She's Ma Queen and I done want it. Enter Ser Duncan the Tall. Dunk is, how do I put this politely? He is thick as a castle wall. He is a certified himbo. He has 0 political intrigue. If you asked Dunk to play the Game of Thrones, he would try to eat the pieces. But that's why he fixes the show. Game of Thrones became a misery simulator where everyone was a stabbing, scheming sociopath. Dunk is just a good dude. He's the Captain America of Westeros, if Captain America lived in a gutter and didn't know how to read. Watching a genuinely good person try to survive in a world of vipers like the Targaryens and the Blackfyres isn't just wholesome. It restores the tension that Season 8 murdered. We actually care if Dunk succeeds because he deserves it, unlike Bran, whose only qualification for king was staring creepily at people. And then there's Egg, the little bald menace. If Dunk is the brawn, Egg is the sass. This kid is technically a Targaryen prince in hiding, but he spends 90% of his time roasting Dunk for being poor. It's the buddy cop dynamic we were promised with Tyrion and Varys before the writers forgot how to write jokes. But here's the secret sauce. This story is essentially The Mandalorian, but in chainmail. It's a lone wolf protecting a special cub. Except instead of Baby Yoda using the Force, it's Egg using his privilege to accidentally start civil wars. The chemistry between these two is the heart of the story. It's not about prophecies. It's about a knight teaching a future king how to be a human being before he learns how to be a ruler. It's the character development we were robbed of with Daenerys. So, does a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms undo the trauma of the finale? No. Nothing can unring those bells. But it reminds us why we fell in love with George R.R. Martin's world in the first place. Not for the dragons, not for the ice zombies, but for the people. The broken, messy, funny, desperate people trying to survive. So yes, I am ready to be hurt again. I am ready to pledge my sword to Ser Duncan the Tall, but if they ruin this ending too, I swear to the old gods and the new, I am becoming a Lord of the Rings channel. If you think Dunk could beat the mountain in a fist fight, he definitely can't. Hit that like button. And if you're still mad about Season 8, subscribe, because we're going to be complaining about it until the end of time. Stay magical, you nerds.